History is often silent, but when it speaks, it shakes the very soul. The rusted piece of iron before me today is not just a tool. It is the final legacy of a warrior that time tried its best to erase. For decades, it waited for its turn in the depths of the earth, amidst moisture and darkness. The soil had shackled its steel, and corrosion had completely devoured its edge. When I first picked it up, the dirt falling from its surface told the story of the lonely years it spent in isolation. But today, the fate of this abandoned relic is about to change. This journey of restoration begins with that first steady strike, shaking the centuries-old grime settled upon it. Every stroke of the wire brush is an attempt to remove the dark veil that obscured this axe's existence. As the machines pick up speed, the silence of the workshop transforms into a haunting roar. This is not just noise. It is the anthem of the iron's liberation. When we noticed the back portion was broken by the tides of time, we had to resort to welding. That piercing blue light and the molten metal, it was as if we were healing the wounds of this ancient weapon. Then began the exhausting cycle of grinding, where every spark illuminated the workshop like a new ray of hope. After hours of grueling labor, when the darkness finally receded, the underlying steel emerged. Stubborn and refusing to surrender its grit. The surface was sanded with various grits until it began to glisten like a mirror. But for a warrior, shining is not enough. One must be strong. We ignited our furnace, its fire blazing like a trapped volcano. The axe was placed in the very heart of the flames. It was heated until it turned as translucent and red as a melting sun. This is the moment where the metal forgets its old weaknesses and takes on a new form. And then came the most terrifying and beautiful moment, the quenching. As the glowing red steel hit the cold oil, a violent explosion occurred. The oil boiled and dark clouds of smoke covered the entire ceiling. This was the entry of a new soul into the axe's body. Now it was the turn of the edge, the very purpose for which it was crafted centuries ago. The music of its friction against the stone was so sweet that fatigue was never felt. Every inch was scrutinized with meticulous care, ensuring its edge could outmatch the sharpness of any sword. Finally, we chose a wood that could handle the weight and dignity of this historic steel. A sturdy piece of walnut was hand-carved, sanded repeatedly, and polished with linseed oil until it was as soft as velvet, yet as strong as iron. When that gleaming steel and the handle were finally united, it felt as though an incomplete dream had been fulfilled. The axe that was rotting in a heap of trash yesterday stands before us today in its full grandeur. This rebirth reminds us that if the will is strong and the craft is pure, a new history can be written even from the ashes.